Sound test. Do a sound test.
Speak loudly. Speaking loud.
Speak over me.
I can speak over you all I want. I'm talking to you right now.
Hey everyone, Shawn V. Martin, and I'm joined by my lovely wife, Alisha Pez.
Hello.
Last week we went to New York City.
Was that last week? It was longer than that away.
Can we just pretend?
We were just in New York.
It was like
yesterday.
2 days ago. It just happened. We totally didn't put this video off for days and days.
Days and weeks and days. Good morning.
Good morning.
We're on our way to New York. Look at the drive.
We're in awesome New Jersey.
Yeah, Jersey.
Jersey rules. So
Anyway.
we went to New York City, and the goal was
To go and see a show. We were like, let's get tickets at that place in New York where you buy them for the day that you're there. And
you can go to like Times Square and get a discount
Right.
ticket because often shows don't sell out,
Yeah.
especially during the week. We're waiting on a train.
We're waiting on a train. It's gonna get here and take us into New York City. I'm excited.
We got to Elizabeth in record time.
We did. Good.
I think so. 2.5 hours all the way to Elizabeth, New Jersey.
We went to New York and there were no tickets available for any matinees. Except for one.
The Christmas extravaganza!
The Radio City Music Hall Christmas Spectacular.
Which I'm sure is great. But
Fabulous. I'm sure that it's amazing.
But we were
for
hoping for like the Book of
people
Mormon.
from the 50s, I don't know.
Or How to Succeed in Business.
How to Succeed in Business with Daniel Radcliffe.
Yeah,
Anyway,
we wanted
there
to
were no
see a
tickets.
show, and no.
Nothing doing.
There were no discount Broadway shows.
No. Well, I mean, I guess there was one.
So we're going to MoMA.
Alisha
Museum,
loves museums.
New York Museum of Modern
Yeah.
Art. We've never been there. The Museum of Modern Art is 6 or 8 blocks away from Times Square,
Yeah,
which is
it
where we
wasn't
were
far at all.
already. I just pulled out my phone and I was like, hey,
Oh.
did you realize that MoMA's like right over there? So
And I was like, hey, did you know I love museums? Love them. Anyway, we spent a whole day there.
an entire day.
An entire day. And we didn't even see everything. We were like, oh, we're just going to have to quick
Yep.
hit up the Diego
We kind of had to
Rivera
rush
exhibit.
our way through
Yeah.
the last 2 floors.
But it was incredible.
We left and went to lunch.
Yes, we did. We did a quick lunch. Maria Pia. Late lunch at Maria Pia.
You don't know what it's called yet?
I do.
You picked it.
I do. I know what it's called. It just sounds very silly to me.
Trattoria Italiana.
Yay, Italian foods.
I speak Italian.
Yes.
Did you know that?
Excellently. Yes. Buongiorno.
Capiche?
It was fantastic.
It was one of those like Broadway pre-show.
Yeah, it was a little bistro with tables for 2 and
Gigantic Italian man who
a
who
gigantic
was running
Italian
the
man.
place. Big suit.
And our waitress took 2 shots. Like,
Yeah.
as we were leaving and sitting down, we paid
I
our
was
bill
facing
and-
the bar.
Yeah.
And she walked over to the bar, and there was another server there with her, and I'm seeing her pouring these shots, and I was like, "Who's ordering shots?" It's like
only 2 in the
2
afternoon.
o'clock in the afternoon, and then she, boom, and I was like,
Boom, boom.
"Oh, okay."
We are at that kind of place.
Yeah. She was also speaking Italian, so I'm not sure if she
Yeah.
was Italian or
I
not.
don't know. Maybe in Italy they're cool with you drinking on the job.
But then we went back to
Jealous.
the museum, and favorite parts?
Favorite parts of the museum?
There was a Diego Rivera exhibition of the pieces that he made for the Museum of
Yes.
Modern Art
Which
when
was
he
really
came to New York
interesting.
in the 50s.
Yeah,
40s.
and but not only they had like the murals that he made for the museum, but they also had like the sketches that he had done for them and all sorts of like pre-art, which is just as fascinating. To, see the art in process.
Yeah, we also the whole top floor was taken up by
One exhibit.
de Kooning.
De Kooning.
Yep. And that's, I mean, modern art is so subjective. Some of these things look like someone vomited paint on a piece of paper.
Hey now.
But
Tossed it casually through
there's
it.
a way to appreciate even the weirdest
Agreed.
of arts. And after we walked through this exhibit of his entire lifetime of work, even the early stuff that I had no idea what I was looking at
Right.
was in some way interesting. Like,
Yeah.
I read on Wikipedia, like, the reason he did all black and white is because he could only afford black and white paint.
Yeah.
Like, he
it
needed
was-
to be creative and be painting, and that was just what he needed to do. So he made do with whatever he had available to him.
And like I gotta say, I never thought I really appreciated modern art, but it wasn't until we went to the museum and I realized what modern art is that I realized I do like some of it, because modern art doesn't refer to necessarily like a style, like just abstract art. It's a time period.
It's a period.
It's 1860 to 1970, so anything in that period. Like Andy Warhol, which I would have thought was modern art, because it was in there, and it was awesome. And Monet, which I would have never thought was modern art, is considered modern art, and
there was a Monet piece in there that was 3 sections. Each section was 12 feet
long.
It was just
12 feet long by like 6 feet high.
Huge landscape, completely immense and monumental.
Yeah, and then they had a whole wall, like this giant, huge Jackson Pollock paint drip, like wall-size
One of those
painting.
Pollock paintings that he painted while it was on the floor, and he like
just
splattered
threw paint
stuff
on it. Yes,
yeah.
And I mean, that's still not my taste, but it was incredible to see it, because I've always, everybody talks about Jackson Pollock, and everybody talks about Andy Warhol, and
There's a
it
reason.
was awesome.
There's a reason.
It was a really
My
cool
other
museum.
favorite part was the design. There was an exhibit completely on design.
Yeah.
And they had everything from like the covers of Beatles albums to like
Chairs.
Apple IIe's to
They
a
had,
whole
like-
exhibit on fonts.
Yes, which was crazy
Which
cool.
she used to work at Staples, and for some reason she's got this obsession with fonts.
I don't have an obsession with fonts. I just like font art. It's
You
interesting.
point them out constantly.
What do you mean?
And I point them out because of you. When we went to Maria Pia, I was like, I recognize this font. What is this font? And like 2 hours later, she's like, it's papyrus! Just out of nowhere.
It was. Please.
It's nighttime in New York.
Yeah, it is. Look at the pretty Christmas trees. Well, not Christmas trees, but lit up trees for Christmas time. So probably the highlight for me, not just, the museum was fantastic, but just the whole day. I've never been to New York in Christmas time, and it was beautiful. There were lights everywhere.
The closest we came before was that day we talked about in February.
Well,
But that
it
was
snowy
post-Christmas.
and gross. Yeah,
and,
there wasn't beautiful lights everywhere, but I mean, like every store you walked had huge, like amazing Christmas displays, and
We walked by Godiva at one point, and I was like, if we're gonna go in, we should go in right now. We didn't.
we did not.
And one unexpected outcome of the day was
Yeah.
taking care of almost all of our Christmas shopping.
It was pretty incredible.
When we realized we couldn't go to the show and we're just walking towards the museum, the way that we came to the museum happened to be the same side that the store was on if you wanted to enter from the street. And we were just like, well, it's so cold out here, let's just go in the store. And we walked in, and 30 minutes later, we had this pile of stuff, and we were like, hey, we're done with our Christmas shopping.
It was fantastic.
I want to mention that little thing we got for my grandma, because she's not going to watch this.
Which thing?
The little
Can I go get
egg.
it?
Yeah, go get it.
I'll be right back.
Oh, I'm just going to cut anyway.
I'll be right back.
Movie magic.
Okay.
So it's a thing.
It's a thing, right? It is called an eggling. Eggling.
It's like a chia pet, but first of all, it actually has a use. And second, it's so much cuter.
Super cute. It's called an eggling, and it's an egg, a little ceramic one. You can see it in there. That's the egg part. And it goes that way now. And then it has directions here. You
the
crack
microphone's
it.
down here. The thing that you're hitting.
Shh. You crack it, and then you water it, and then sun happens. That sun happens, and then there's a plant.
Yeah.
I got one for my friend Rachel and for Shawn's grandma.
We got they did have 2 different types of herbs.
They had 3 different types of herbs. I was really
or
tempted.
herbs if you live in the
Herbs,
UK.
if you will.
But we got lavender because that's pretty to look at.
Yes, we got lavender, and they had basil and mint, and I was really tempted to buy mint because I would grow mint out of an egg.
So, anything else to say about New York?
No, it was an awesome trip. You should definitely check out New York in Christmas time if you can. If you live on the East Coast and can get there, do it.
Take a train for a day.
Yeah.
People still ride trains.
We did. We took a train in. It's really expensive.